Most people think they will know exactly when it is time to leave, that one day something dramatic will happen, a betrayal, a blow-up, a final insult, a moment so obvious that staying would feel impossible, but that is not how it usually happens. Most people do not stay too long because life was unclear. They stay too long because life was tolerable. Adrian knew this feeling well. He had a steady job. People liked him. His manager trusted him. He was not under threat. He was not unhappy enough to alarm anyone. And that was exactly what made it dangerous. Because sometimes what keeps you stuck is not pain. It is comfort that stopped asking anything from you. Every season has a cost. The right season builds you, the wrong season slowly drains you. And if you do not learn how to recognize the difference, you can lose years. Inside routines that feel safe, but no longer move your life forward. That is what this video is about. Not impatience, not running at the first sign of difficulty, but the cost of staying too long in jobs, in relationships, in environments, in versions of yourself that already expired, but still feel familiar. Because a lot of people are not trapped by failure. They are trapped by acceptable stagnation. And that is why successful people do not only ask whether something is bearable, they ask whether it is still worthy of their time. Because time does not come back just because you were loyal to the wrong chapter. The first cost of staying too long is that comfort starts disguising stagnation. Adrian told himself. He was being patient. He told himself. He was building steadily. He told himself. There was value in staying where people trusted him, and there was. But trust is not the same as growth. Being liked is not the same as being rewarded. Being safe is not the same as moving forward. That is where many people get confused. They think, no one is pushing me out, so maybe I should stay. But sometimes no one pushes you out because you have become useful exactly where you are. Useful, reliable, predictable. And if your own goals are no longer being served there, other people's comfort can quietly become your cage. A small salary increase, a familiar routine, a stable title, a room where everyone knows you. All of that can feel good. But if you are no longer growing, then comfort is not rewarding you. It is delaying you. The second cost of staying too long is that your standards start adjusting downward. This happens quietly. And at first, you notice the gap. You notice you are underpaid, under-challenged, undervalued, under-inspired. But then you adapt. You stop expecting more. You stop asking better questions. You stop imagining a different outcome because the current one has become normal. That is the danger. A person can get used to almost anything. A low-paying role, a half-alive relationship, a one-sided friendship, an environment that no longer respects their future. And once your standards fall, you no longer feel urgency. You just feel familiar. That is not peace, that is adaptation. And adaptation to the wrong environment can make a strong person look passive for years. On the third cost of staying too long is that delay starts charging interest. This is true in work, it is true in relationships, and it is true in life generally. Because every extra year you stay where you no longer belong is not just one more year spent, it is also one more year you did not build elsewhere. One more year of missed earning, missed growth, missed peace, missed alignment. That is the part people do not always calculate, they count. What they might lose by leaving, they rarely count. What staying is already taking. Adrian began to see this when a friend asked him a simple question. If nothing changes, where will this put you 3 years from now? He hated the question because he knew the answer. In the same place, making small progress, inside a structure that had already shown him its ceiling. That is when delay stopped feeling harmless. Because once you can see, the cost of repetition, staying no longer feels neutral. A lot of people only count visible loss. They count the breakup, the resignation, the awkward conversation, the uncertainty of starting again. But invisible loss is usually bigger. The confidence you lose, the ambition you dull, the standards you keep lowering, the quiet resentment you start carrying into everything else. The fourth cost of staying too long is emotional erosion. Not every wrong season hurts loudly. Some seasons just wear you down. They make you second-guess yourself. They make you smaller. They make you less decisive, less hopeful, less honest about what you actually want. This is why people sometimes stay too long. In relationships as well, not because the relationship is still clearly right, but because ending it would force a hard truth, that love is no longer enough, that the future no longer matches, that years have already been invested, that leaving would mean admitting, you stayed longer than you should have. So they wait. And while they wait, their energy changes. They become more drained than devoted, more attached to history than hope, more afraid of change than committed to truth. That is expensive, because the wrong relationship does not only waste time, it can slowly train you to betray your own clarity. If this is resonating so far, subscribe, not for louder motivation, but for the kind that helps you recognize when comfort is helping you and when comfort is quietly costing you. Now back to the script. The fifth cost of staying too long is that eventually life makes the move for you. That is one of the hardest lessons to learn too late, because some people refuse to move until they are forced, until the company restructures, until the relationship collapses, until the resentment is public, until the opportunity disappears, until the body breaks down, until the season ends without their permission. But disciplined people try to move earlier than that. Not recklessly, strategically, they do not wait until a chapter becomes unbearable. Before admitting it is over, they pay attention to growth, alignment, peace, trajectory, and when the signs are clear, that they act before life has to corner them. That is what Adrian finally did. He stopped asking, will they keep me? And started asking, does this still match the life I want? He stopped asking, can I survive here? And started asking, am I still expanding here? That shift changed everything, because maturity is not only about loyalty, it is also about timing. It is knowing when effort still makes sense and when effort is being poured into a season that has already given what it came to give. That does not mean every difficult job should be left or every strained relationship should be abandoned, but it does mean you should be honest enough to tell the difference between a hard season that can still grow you and a dead season you keep decorating because you are afraid to leave. So what is the cost of staying too long? You lose growth. Inside comfort, you lower your standards to fit familiar limits. You let delay steal years you could have built elsewhere. You allow emotional erosion to weaken your clarity, and eventually you risk being moved by force instead of by wisdom. That is the real cost. Not only the time you spent, but the version of yourself that had to wait for you to become honest. Adrian did not become ruthless. He became clearer. He did not leave because people disliked him. He left because his future required more than his comfort was offering. And that is a lesson a lot of people need. You do not have to wait until something hates you before you leave it. Sometimes wisdom is quieter. Sometimes wisdom sounds like this. This season gave me something, but it cannot have the next 5 years of my life. If you already know you have outgrown a place, a pattern, or a relationship, do not keep calling delay. Patience, do not keep calling fear. Loyalty, do not keep calling stagnation. Peace, because there is a price for staying too long, and the longer you ignore it, the more expensive it becomes. Sometimes the next level of your life does not begin when you work harder. Inside the same chapter, it begins when you finally admit the chapter is over. Let the ideas compound.